Coming up on this edition of the News Feed, we take a look at plans for Virginia Tech's Smart Road. Plus, a look into the Corps of Cadets Platoon Challenge. And a new bus route is coming to campus, connecting Blacksburg to the D.C. area. Those stories and more are just ahead. Hello, and thanks for joining us on this edition of the News Feed. I'm Claire Rigney. Many people dream of turning their hopes into a career, but local boxing club owner Kevin Bowen has actually done that. The gym has been open since January 2016, starting out with only 5 members. Bowen says they now have 195. Bowen and his wife Augusta, who are Virginia Tech alumni, opened the gym after raising money on a GoFundMe page. Within a day, the page had met its first donation goal. When the father passed in 2014, Bowen says that boxing helped him through it. He wanted to be able to provide that outlet of camaraderie to others while also keeping people fit.
I really wanted to, that way to differentiate myself from other trainers. Because anybody, in my opinion, anybody can teach you how to lift weights and run on a treadmill and that kind of stuff.
They've made a point to be involved in the tech community by holding special fundraisers such as Fight Like a Hokie Day for Relay for Life. They also offer student discounts. Bowen credits his success so far to his experience in the Pamplin College of Business and his passion for boxing. A project to connect Virginia Tech's Smart Road to I-81 is on the fast track to approval. The proposed extension of the road would connect Route 460 to Interstate 81 around mile marker 121, reducing the drive from Roanoke to Blacksburg by 12 minutes. As of right now, the proposal is not high on the state's list of priority projects, but the state will be able to come back at it at any time in the following years. It calls for a 3-mile extension of VT's Smart Road with an expansion to 4 lanes to accommodate traffic. However, the benefits of the plan far outweigh any possible effects on traffic in the region.
But we also feel at the Institute, and again, this is kind of referring to all of the Smart Road expansions in general, definitely has the ability to we think that when all is said and done, we estimate that we can add about 156 jobs to the region, and that's both directly from the Institute and indirectly through through increased tourism and more employees and people moving into the region and that sort of thing.
While the project has been put on the back burner, the Institute has high hopes for the future of the Smart Road and the future of the New River Valley. Virginia Tech's very own television station, VTTV, is hoping to move to a bigger and better space. The student-run organization currently resides in the media wing of Squire Student Center, but has had their eyes on the Moss Arts Center for some time now. Newsfeed reporter Caroline Cleary has more on the story.
Virginia Tech Television has been a part of the Hokie Nation since the spring of 1988. In 1997, VTTV disaffiliated from the university to join other student media organizations under the Educational Media Company at Virginia Tech, EMCVT. VTTV is currently still under EMCVT, however, they are looking to move from Squires to the Moss Arts Center. Several general managers within the past couple of years have tried to facilitate the jump, but have yet to succeed. Current GM Rachel Van Meter has made the professional move a goal during her time in office.
I've always wanted, it's been a huge dream and a big motivator of mine coming into my current position, and it's just such a lovely space with such advanced technology and equipment that's just right next door. So we're really trying our best to eventually get to use that space.
The Moss Arts Center opened in 2013 and offers a multimedia studio and control room. The studio is used for multiple communication classes, but no media organizations. VTTV's advisor, Professor Jared Woolley, feels the move would be beneficial to students' skill sets.
By having some sort of an organization beyond the class day, beyond the class period, like VTTV, would help students just have more time just have more time sitting in front of the switcher and standing behind the camera or standing in front of the camera and just getting practice, just getting the repetition.
VTTV hopes the transition can happen as soon as possible in order to make the station as reputable and professional as possible, as well as give members more of a real-world perspective of how a news show is produced. This is Caroline Cleary reporting for the Newsfeed.
Any break is an exciting time for students, but it's the beginning of a long journey for those who do not have their own cars. A new subsidized bus route may solve that problem for some, but it will also offer some intimidating competition. The Virginia Department of Rail and Public Transportation wishes to experiment with the possibility of a statewide public bus service. Some potential stops on this new route are Roanoke, Stanton, Harrisonburg, Gainesville, and Dulles International Airport. Private services like Megabus, SmartBus, Greyhound, and the Home Ride already run out of the New River Valley to places like Northern Virginia. Megabus has a stop in nearby Christiansburg, and the Home Ride picks up students right on campus. Because the new route would be subsidized and the price for tickets would be lower, owners of these private services are worried.
It's competition, and unfortunately heavily subsidized competition, so that's never good.
The cost of a ride on this bus has not yet been decided. Depending on how quickly the government finalizes its plan, the route could begin running as soon as late 2017. Just ahead on the newsfeed, a look at a lesser-known internship opportunity. And the Corps of Cadets' intense Platoon challenge. That story and more after the break.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to the news feed. The Corps of Cadets at Virginia Tech is highly regarded for its outstanding leadership program, its commitment to WIPROSM, and the important contributions they make to campus. The Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets annual Platoon Tactical Challenge is a well-known tradition among its ranks, as it draws from all the skills and knowledge that each team has acquired throughout their training. The competition is held every spring as it encourages teamwork among the many units that make up the cadet regiment. For months now, the cadets have been preparing thoroughly, body and mind, for the various stations and challenges that they were faced with on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's pretty important. I think, the Corps does a lot of stuff, has a lot of traditions, but we don't do too much. It's actually like really physically challenging and like a long mental challenge.
All of the cadets in the regiment and their respective platoons had to maneuver their way across campus while accomplishing various tasks in the shortest amount of time. Ultimately, what each cadet would take away from the competition was more than just a prize. It would be the unity found in the Corps of Cadets. Thrift shopping is growing rapidly in the United States. Consumers love the cheap prices, and as a result, thrift shops have grown over 7% in the last 2 years. One organization on campus is making an effort to educate Blacksburg residents on the environmental importance of thrift shopping. Newsfeed reporter Stephen Dixon joins us in the newsroom with more on the story. Stephen?
Thanks, Claire. About 17% of Americans are now thrift shoppers, according to America's Research Group, which speaks volumes to the growth of the industry. However, at Virginia Tech, students are doing something a little different, a thrift swap in which you donate an item and take an item in return. On Friday, March 17th, the Office of Sustainability at Virginia Tech and the YMCA paired up to put on the third annual thrift swap. Since its initiation in 2015, the thrift swap has grown every year in respect to swappers attending and items donated. This year in particular, the Virginia Tech track team donated some of their old team shoes. The swap's intent is to educate the community on the importance of buying used items instead of brand new. Senior intern Chloe Sikora shares the environmental impacts of swapping instead of shopping.
Secondhand shopping is one of the best ways that you can minimize your environmental impact. There's like so much water goes into producing a pair of jeans. I think it's like 50 gallons of water per one pair of jeans. Like, how insane is that? And so just opting out to not buy a new pair and going to go get a pair that's secondhand makes a world of a difference.
This is the third year in a row that the ThriftSwap has been held in the Squire Student Center. Having it in a large community space like this is part of the reason for its success, but Oot Prosim plays a large part as well. Virginia Tech students love to volunteer and help out their local community. An e-waste drive was also added to this year's ThriftSwap, giving Hokies another opportunity to help the environment. Tristan Baker of the Environmental Students Organization explains the hazards that e-waste can cause in the Blacksburg community.
E-waste is a big issue, basically because there's a lot of chemicals in batteries and phones and cell phone chargers and stuff like that, that when they're thrown out get into our water.
To find out more about how to get involved in the fight to preserve the environment, contact the Office of Sustainability on Facebook or the YMCA at ymca@vtymca.org. Back to you at the news desk.
At a school like Virginia Tech, where sports are considered a lifeblood for students, a job in sports broadcasting has become a popular career choice for many. Fortunately, there are a number of opportunities to engage in broadcasting on campus. However, none may be more beneficial than the opportunity to intern with the IMG Student Broadcaster Program. Starting in 2011 under the direction of Bill Roth and Andrew Allegretta, the IMG Student Broadcaster Program has become a bit of a hidden gem for those interested in a career in sports broadcasting. The group meets weekly in the Moss Arts Center to practice in the classroom and studio, as well as to discuss and critique previous broadcasts. In working with the IMG internship, students have the opportunity to provide play-by-play and color commentary live on air. Virginia Tech Olympic sports broadcasts for ESPN3, the ACC Digital Network, and more. Additionally, it has provided an outlet for creating professional connections.
Because working with guys like Bill Roth, Andrew, and John Laser, those are names, especially with Bill and John, those are names in the professional broadcast world that people recognize. And if you establish a good relationship with them and they know you, that's going to open doors for a job yourself.
Those professional connections have also paid off for the alumni of the IMG internship, as some have garnered broadcasting positions in local radio, as well as with Fox Sports Florida and Georgia Southern University, to name a few. Blacksburg has become a new home for several refugee families over the last year, thanks to the Blacksburg Refugee Partnership. The Blacksburg Refugee Partnership supports families escaping their war-torn countries by offering a holistic approach to the process of resettlement in the United States. However, President Trump's travel ban has created some major challenges to their goal as he looks to cut refugee immigration by 50 to 60%. Newsfeed reporter Johnny Kraft has more on the story.
Blacksburg Refugee Partnership started with 3 volunteers in June of 2016. Over the past 9 months, it has grown to over 200 volunteers that have now helped bring 6 refugee families to Blacksburg. While Blacksburg Refugee Partnership does not have a vetting process, the UN goes through a very thorough vetting process on the refugee families that come through the organization.
I think there's 5 organizations, FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, I don't know who they are, places like that, who also look into each one of these families, and that's a pretty complicated vetting process. Before they get to come here, that happens. So we trust them. We don't get to decide which family. It's just like whoever comes, and we meet them.
Their biggest concern right now is President Trump's travel ban that prevented a Syrian family from coming to Blacksburg last month. Fortunately, they still managed to get that family into the country with some help once the ban was temporarily lifted.
Senator Tim Kaine's office was contacted, and he was very helpful. It was on his radar. Also, at that point, it was at the State Department level, so there wasn't a whole lot he could do, but he did stay engaged, and finally, after the judges in Washington got involved and it was lifted for a little while, this family was allowed to enter in.
Blacksburg Refugee Partnership is always welcoming new volunteers to help their cause. If you'd like to make a donation or find out more about volunteer opportunities, visit their website at blacksburgrefugeepartnership.org. Reporting for the newsfeed, I'm Johnny Kraft.
That will wrap up this edition of the Newsfeed. If you have a story idea for the Newsfeed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com. And as always, you can connect with the Newsfeed on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. I'm Claire Rigney.